Do you have a picky eater on your hands? If you answered yes, you are going to love this video because we have a special guest from Feeding Littles, and she's going to give us her tips, tricks, and a few lunchtime examples to help making feeding your little one a breeze. Welcome back to The Well-Traveled Mom. Today we are talking all about food. I have a special guest here with me, McNamee. She is co-owner of Feeding Littles with her partner Judy Delaware.
Yep.
And they specialize in helping children eat. So she's going to share with us some quick, simple tricks to getting your child ready for lunchtime.
Yes, absolutely.
Now tell us a little bit more about Feeding Littles.
Sure. So Feeding Littles is an online company. We sell online courses for parents. And we teach them how to feed their babies and their toddlers and also their young kids, because eventually all these kids grow up and we want to expose them to a lot of different types of food. We want to get them used to eating a variety of things that the family eats, so it's going to look a little bit different for every family. And we try to help parents do this in a way that feels comfortable to them, but also helps them foster a sense of independence and fun around mealtime, so that they don't have the stresses that a lot of us experience.
Absolutely, making lunch and food fun.
Yes, and so many of us we expect our kids are going to get picky, and a lot of kids do get picky at some point. We were just even talking about this with our own kids. But we don't want them to go so far down that route that it becomes problematic, right? And they're only eating a really, really small amount of different foods. So our job is to help parents kind of navigate that and helps prevent some of the pitfalls with that. And then also make it, work for them, because not all of us can sit at home and make every single thing from scratch, right?
Absolutely. Is there a special container or lunchbox of choice that you tend to gravitate towards?
We like anything that's reusable, so that you don't have to keep packing plastic bags. It's a little bit more eco-friendly. I really like Bento, and that's mainly the product that I just use. I also really like it because it has 5 different areas, 5 separations. So it forces you to get a little bit more creative. So I always say, there's some sort of entree, kind of protein source or something that you probably put in the bigger area. Maybe it's a sandwich or a wrap, but maybe it's, crackers and cheese and cucumbers there. And then the other, 4 areas allow you to think, okay, maybe a vegetable or 2 vegetables and a fruit, or 2 fruits and a vegetable, that kind of thing. So you're not just giving them a sandwich and an apple and calling it a day. So it's just what I like to use and what a lot of our clients have really enjoyed.
Absolutely. And she has 2 kids, so...
Yeah, I use them with my own kids. Yes, I have a 6 and a 3-year-old.
Oh, perfect. So tell us some ways you prepare or offer food that makes it appealing to kids.
Sure. Well, first and foremost, you always want to put something familiar on the plate. A lot of children are naturally reluctant to eat new foods. If you give them only new foods, it might be so overwhelming that they're like, okay, I'm not going to touch this. Dips really help. A lot of kids like to dip. So one of the techniques that we talk about in one of our courses is if you combine a familiar dip with a less familiar food, the dip makes it kind of feel safe to them. Like, okay. So dips can, we always think about ketchup and ranch, but dips can be hummus, guacamole, marinara sauce. It can even be like applesauce if it's something sweeter that you want them to dip into. Tzatziki, you can get kind of creative with it. We even talk about dipping waffles, like frozen waffles, into yogurt. And, just different things to make it a little bit fun for them. Sometimes adding a little bit of novelty, and this is something we talk extensively about in our toddler course, really helps children because they're fascinated by new things. So you've probably noticed if you go to Costco and your child really wants to eat the thing on a stick in the little tiny cup.
Yeah.
And then you buy 20 pounds of it because that's how it's sold, and then you get home and they don't touch it ever again. They didn't eat it because they especially loved the food. They ate it because it was in a tiny cup of protein.
Okay.
So we talk about how to make food a little bit interesting and novel for kids so that they're more, it's not that you're like tricking them to eat, it's literally bringing the developmental desire to learn about something new to the mealtime.
Absolutely. And you guys talk a lot about different containers and serving it.
Yes.
Special
serving it in different ways. So putting things in like an ice cube container, an ice cube tray, or a muffin tin. Those things alone can make it a little bit more interesting and appealing to them. Kids are hardwired to learn about their world and explore, and sometimes we don't understand that they are so busy trying to master stacking these blocks or finishing this coloring project, because it's dinner time and we're hungry and we got to get along with the day. Our priorities are just so different than theirs. You have to kind of think like a kid sometimes when it comes to food. Maybe it's a little bit boring for them. Is there one thing that we can add to the routine that kind of mixes it up, shakes it up just a little bit, and suddenly they're like, okay, I want to be here a little longer.
Okay, so some mommies out there, our challenge is feeding kids with dietary restrictions. What are your tips for that?
We have a lot of clients with allergies. Some families are vegetarian or they eat a certain way, or maybe their kid is super allergic to something or sensitive to something. I personally think that nutrition is very individual and it really depends on the person. And we have to listen to our bodies and listen to what feels best for us. I definitely recommend working with a registered dietitian. Work with somebody that specializes in allergies or restrictive diets, just to make sure you're keeping your kiddos safe. That's kind of the biggest. But when it comes to restrictions, a lot of it gets challenging with language. So sometimes the language we recommend using are things like, everyone can eat different things. Not everyone can have, say it's wheat, not everyone can have wheat or bread. Mommy's gonna make sure that I have an alternative for you. I'm gonna make sure that we only have safe bread for you to eat in the house and all. And it's kind of a fine line. You don't wanna scare them of all foods, but they also need to understand the safety element.
So from here, let's just dive in and give some examples of what we would prepare for lunch.
Sure, perfect.
Lastly, is there one tip or piece of advice that you can leave parents when it comes to feeding their children?
Sure. Try to eat together. Doesn't matter what you're eating. Obviously nutrition has a role, but in the end, if we eat together and we connect together at mealtime, that's actually the most important thing. That's one of the most important things you can do for your child growing up. They say it's, the top 5 of all the behaviors that you can model with your kid. Just try to sit and eat together and connect. Whatever you're talking about, whatever you're doing, because those are the memories your child's gonna have when they're older. They're not gonna necessarily remember the food that they were eating. They're gonna remember about how mealtimes made them feel and how that environment was. So, and as they get older, that's gonna really be the only time you have to connect with them. Kids get super busy, especially with sports and activities, and try to keep that dinner time or some sort of meal time at least once a day sacred so that you can all sit and connect together.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That has been so helpful. If you guys want more information, check out their website, www.feedinglittles.com, and they are also on Instagram and Facebook. I will link it below. But thank you, Megan.
Thank you.
We love seeing you.
Thank you.